Hey guys, welcome back to Cadence RC. So today, I mentioned I had gotten these new Cling On tires from Injora. I had a little bit of time, so sneaking out, wanting to do a little bit of testing with those tires, just see what they do, just kind of have an idea how it drives. So I'm going to keep the shocks in this same location that I had them in before. I actually raised it up slightly from where I ran my very first test. So just so that you can actually see the angle, since I had you on there from behind. And yeah, just kind of drive around on some of these rocks. It's cold today. Right now, I think the temperature when I got out of the car was 48 degrees. So again, I think I had heard that these tires really perform well on low temperature. It'll be interesting to see. I didn't realize when I got these that they're based on a tire that has been banned from crawling competitions. So hopefully these don't get banned before next year. Anyway, let's do some testing. So this first obstacle, you guys have seen this thing plenty of times. I'm gonna just drive up this canyon. We're gonna come to and we're gonna. Oh, look at that. That's interesting. Kind of similar bounce to what I had the other day. I took it up that same rock, and it was a similar outcome. I'm gonna see if I can back this thing down. I want to try and drive just real slow. Oh geez. Okay. Well, that was interesting. So just letting the truck work. I was being too aggressive. I'm actually curious. I want to go this way. I've never tried to go this way. What if this was an obstacle? Look how steep. You guys can't see how steep that is, but that should give you a better idea of how steep of an obstacle that is. Make sure, as I toss you guys, make sure you guys can actually see where I'm at here. There we go. Man, I had a realization this morning. We're coming into so we're on our last races of the year, and I don't know what I'm gonna do for the next couple of months. We don't have an indoor place to run. I think we've been talking about. There's been talk. I need to change that reverse on this truck. We've been talking about. Doing some crawling. I think we'll be able to do that till late. We're going to end up with snow on the ground here, though. So this channel is going to get interesting. I'm going to have to figure out a way to keep things going for you guys. Hey, that's cool. I made that. Let's drive it right up this thing. So I do have some ideas. I'm going to do some building. I might try and find a car that I can do some practice with when the weather's okay, just because I'm still new and need to work on my racing skills, but I don't want to trash on a serious race car if I can avoid that. So yeah, that's going to be a tough one right there. Let's see if we come up. If I can get this to bring that tire over right there with that. No, it's just hanging the tire up in the air. Look at that. So I just get up on the chassis and there's nothing I can do. What if, can we get it off the, no. So we would have to come over to the right here. But yeah, so anyway, today, it's just kind of going to be about doing a little bit of just see what kind of grip these tires have. And I'm over. I'm going to bring you up this little canyon over here. Let's see if I can just keep it on while I move here. So again, I think that these are the medium Injora inserts that I'm running on this truck. And then I've got the those Cling On tires, which I think are S5 is what they call that compound. Which, again, I don't, not really knowing. My understanding is that they're very, that they kind of fall on their face when it gets hot, and here in the Boise, Idaho area, we have, it's not as extreme as what I grew up with, because I grew up in the Sun Valley, Idaho area, which is a ski resort. So, and so we had very extreme weather there. But I'm just getting kind of hooked up on this rock. We made this the other day. I actually made this the first time really easy. I'm not in a good standing position because I'm trying to talk to you guys. I'm going to move over just a little bit. There we go. But yeah, it gets cold here and it gets hot here. It's you know, we'll see regularly in the Boise, Idaho area. We'll see you know, 105 consecutive days over 100 degrees, and then we'll also see wintertime days in the, you know, as low as -20 is about what I've seen here. It's not as bad as I spent 11 years in a little tiny town called Fairfield, and we would also get over 100 degrees in that little town, but it's also a ski town, and we would see the coldest I ever saw there was 40 below. So that place was super extreme for weather. You know what, this temperature, I'm kind of getting, I made this pretty easy the other day. There it is. But I was expecting more from that little climb. Looks like I'm just slightly stuck. Let's see if I can, I'm gonna need it to kind of come over. So I want to know you guys' thoughts. So I've been thinking about something I'm learning about is having a really high grip tire in the front, and then maybe a little less grippy tire, something with a little more side slip for the opposite side, and for the back. And so I'm kind of toying around with the idea of ordering some different tires for that, and kind of play around with performance in you know, maintaining forward drive with that front end, and then having drive but slip in the back. I think would probably be a good blend of performance. All right, there we go. I'm gonna try to hold this while I drive here. Yeah, okay. And the other day we kind of came up this, and I kind of fell off this rock and redid the section, but I love on that FOC just being able to go no miles an hour. That's a pretty amazing thing. We kind of came down this rock. I'm curious to see what would happen if we do the same. Look how cool that looks. It's just the truck up on top of the rocks. Yeah, I love that I can just creep forward with this thing. So I was talking about in my last video on this truck, the kind of the jacking action of the suspension when you're going, so like when you're on a really steep descent like that, right? So I should be fully extended on that rear end, and you know, trying to minimize that rollover, forward rollover, so that you can so that you can make as many things as possible. I think that, to me, that seems like you would need that. I'm going to try to drive up onto this rock right here and then down, because I think that's a little bit too steep. I'm going to have to just floor it into you guys if I go that way. Ooh, that was cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then this is going to be a severe drop-off right here. I'm curious to see. I'm thinking kind of a wiggle. What do you guys think when we get down? See, my back end is sliding. No, actually, is it sliding? Nice. There's this other rock over here, and I have never driven up this rock. I want to see if I can make it. So it's this red rock right here. We actually ran this in the C1 class a couple weeks ago. We attempted this thing, and I have, like I say, I've never been able to cover this rock. I'm going to try to get up this. There's normally rocks in place right here that you would use to get up this. Okay, that was impressive. And then this rock right here. So let's get you turned so you can see. I'm going to do my best to try and bring this back around. creep up this rock. I'm just curious if I can get up this rock with this tire and this truck. I actually did not make it up this rock. I tried to videotape it, and I did not make this rock the other day. So with those Nitto tires, my expectation is I'm not going to make it. It's obviously it's very steep. You can see that the front end is trying to flip on me. I'm starting to kind of roll off to the side. I wonder, would it grab right there? You know, ironically, one of the guys in that S2 comp did actually make this climb. He had I wish I could know the name of all those vehicles, but he had a really nice little truck. And it did climb this in the S1 class, which was super impressive. I'm gonna call. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to call that a defeat. Maybe it's a lack of skill on my part. But look at that though. That's so cool. These little trucks. I mean, it's pretty fun doing this crawling thing and seeing what cars can do. When I was a kid, I got really into Jeeps, and I bought a 1996 Jeep when they were new. That was the first year that they went back to a round headlight. So the YJ was before that with square headlights, and I bought a TJ. Oh, and man, I might have it. I'm just trying to see here. Still a little bit more of your time and see if I can. Look at that. Look at that. I'm stuck. There it is. I made it. Okay, so it can be done. Man, that is a serious obstacle. But yeah, definitely a grip challenge, and that tire pulled that off. I lost track of what I was talking about there, but oh yeah, I had my old Jeep, and you know, I remember reading up on all the trucks and just, you know, suspension and transfer cases, and learned about all of that stuff. But you can't go real heavy with a real car, so I did not go real heavy with a real car. We're gonna do this test right here, so let's bring this around. Oh. So I made this the other day with my Jeep. And I just made it up that no problem. No problem at all. Oh, did we lose a rock right here? This is interesting. This looks different. I'm gonna bring you guys down right here. Or bring this down right here. Let's climb this little channel. Can I position you guys with this? This would be a cool angle if I can get it to work. So we'll try to drive right up this little canyon right at you guys here. No problem at all. Oh geez. Let's do one more test here. So I'm gonna drive back up that little canyon. Oh, that got a good scratch on that lens. Hopefully it didn't damage anything beyond that. All right, looks like we're good. A little side bite action. Yep. So that worked really well. Try to sneak our way down this thing. And then I'm going to try to do a side hill. So we're gonna come up onto the side of this rock right here. Make sure we're still recording. Oh. Yep. And so my goal is to kind of bring this tight on here, but around this edge, just see what this thing does. Oh, I'm kind of stuck on the, there we go. So I think if I can hook the top of it just a little bit. You know, assuming there was like a gate right there at the very top of that. Just want to see what it would do. Can I come around this? That FOC in action right there. That is so cool. Just kind of trying to scramble its way through. It's so amazing. All right, that's super cool. Oh, let's see. I'm gonna end up dropping down right here. I can't pick you guys up. I'm gonna try to drop down. Oh, and I'm down. So it's a vertical drop on the other side of that. I was hoping to get my way through there. Anyways, that's pretty cool. That's pretty impressive. We're leave you guys with my car on its lid and do a little bit more testing here, and maybe I'll come back. All right. Hey, so yeah, I had a chance to, doing that running with my truck. I actually, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get any video of my own truck at our last comp, but I kind of want to finish up this video on what I found with these Injora Cling On tires and the changes that I made and the performance that I found. So when I did that test, the test that you're seeing, I was hoping for more. It did good. It definitely did better than the tires that were on the truck, than those Nittos that I had. But I was hoping for a little bit better performance. So I actually, before the next comp, I actually had done another little bit of figuring, and I'm actually finding that this hole, so I'm in the second hole back on the lower row, with the suspension just bottomed out. It seems to be the best position as far as leaving the length of the rear end stock. So that was a change that I have made since since the earlier videos that you saw. And then the other thing that I did is I went through and I actually cleaned these tires. I did a little bit of racer stuff, and I went through these tires and cleaned them with Simple Green. I actually just put it on for about not very long, like 4 minutes, just to clean off all the old all the stuff that keep it from getting funky in the boxes, in the bags when they're stored. And then I actually went through on my foams. So I left my front foams alone, and again, I'm running those medium Injora foams, or I say foams, the Injora inserts, and so I left the front ones alone, and I went through and I snipped every other little spline on the outer, on the outer section on the rear tires to soften them up, which makes them act about equal as far as how it's reacting front to rear. And at our last comp, I made some mistakes, but in the second course, the harder of the two courses, I actually unfortunately thought I was going to the right gate and went through the wrong section, so I had to back up, and it was a major spot. So I ended up losing like a minute and a half trying to get back through that gate. But had I not done that, I was actually running it in the very top couple of people as far as the car, and that's again 0 brass on this car, and just just those aluminum wheels, which of course that adds quite a bit of weight, right? But just the regular inserts or regular aluminum what would you call that? Just as the rings, right, for locking the tire in, and then snipping those foams. The car is performing incredible. So I will say that for a cold weather performance tire, doing the cleanup on these tires what made them go from being a pretty good tire to being a really amazing tire. I actually think they were probably the best, or close to the best performing tire at this last competition. I am going to be running some stuff tomorrow, so hopefully I'll be able to get a little bit of video, but I wanted to get this out there and just kind of show you guys and tell you what I had done and what I found out on these tires. So yeah, definitely. If you're running cooler weather and want a tire that's going to give you a ton of grip, the Injora Cling Ons are an incredible tire. Do go through and clean them up really good. So I was hoping they would kind of scuff in on their own, and the Simple Green really just helped get them the rest of the way. So now they're super grippy, and the car's frankly amazing. Anyway, I can't wait to see you guys in the next video.